Hello, everyone. It is Dr. Julie. Welcome to our very first Mission Monday. I am so happy that you are joining us. You are our very first participants. Big yay and shout out, and thank you so much for trusting us with yourself on this journey of change. Again, I'm Dr. Julie Tiane. I am going to formally introduce myself during our first video cast on Wednesday, but I wanted to give a quick Mission Monday. So what is that? Well, every Monday, I'm literally going to be popping in, and I am going to be asking you to do certain pieces that are going to be instrumental in moving forward in your journey of change. Now, it's kind of like a little bit of a nudge, kind of like a little bit of a homework assignment, just encouraging you to risk a little bit to take the next step on your personal journey. And we're going to wrap that around themes that we're going to be discussing the week. We're going to be wrapping it really with themes and topics for the month, and just kind of overall themes that are so important that we're going to be going through in the deeper work. So what does that mean? Well, for instance, we are going to be doing a lot about getting to know your real self and risking to live from that real self and showing that real self to others. That's going to be who you really are inside, that maybe sometimes can feel a little bit too vulnerable to share readily with others. Sometimes it's a real self that you've stepped away from because of maybe being ridiculed in the past, that kind of tender part of yourself being damaged and the walls going up. So that's going to be a theme that we talk about quite often. And as I thought about this first Mission Monday, I thought, how can I weave this in a real beginning sense? Because I know it's super vulnerable to be at the very beginning step of this journey in this new group. So here is your first Mission Monday task. When you come on as a new member, one of the things that would be really beneficial is if you filled out your profile. Now, your profile can be something that you just kind of put out there, say, oh, this sounds good about me, and this is what I want people to know. But I'm going to ask you to risk something that is really true about yourself, and maybe something that you wouldn't share as readily. But we really want to have in this group the theme of, being who you really are. And again, that experience of risking to share it with others. So, I always practice what I preach. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an example because I did this exercise myself when I was filling in the profile. So the very first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to share a truth about yourself that feels a little bit vulnerable to share because of maybe some kind of concern or some difficulty within your past history or your value system that makes it vulnerable to share. So for instance, on my profile, I risked to put impassioned soul. And that is for me a really true part of who I am. I think it is kind of an essence that characterizes who I am. But my hesitation was that I was afraid that it was going to sound kind of haughty or full of myself. And that really goes against a value. I really love owning kind of my personal power, but I never like to seem full of myself. And sometimes that statement can feel that way. But I really wanted to risk, like I'm asking you to do, to share a part of myself that's so true for me that you're proud of, but sometimes hesitant to put out there in its full self. So I'm going to ask you to share a part of yourself that's really true for you, but might be vulnerable for you to put out there to others. And the other thing I'm going to ask is for you to put in that profile something that is a part of you that is maybe something that you're hoping or dreaming will be able to manifest for you, that again is vulnerable to put out there. So for myself, I put writer. Now, when I thought about what I would put in there regarding my roles, there's lots of things that I do. I wear a lot of hats. Um, but writer is something that is super true. I've wanted to be a writer since I was a little kid. I do a lot of writing, but a dream that has been yet to be fulfilled is to be a published author. So it's super vulnerable and putting a hope and a dream out there, hoping that it's going to be manifested. But the risk is, what if it's not? What are people going to think? But again, that's what this group is about. It's about sharing your real self. And as the group facilitators, both myself and Dr. Ashley will be doing that quite a bit to kind of help make it safe and to encourage you to do the same thing. So your mission Monday, if you choose, is to fill out your profile and to do it in such a way that you allow a couple of parts of yourself that might be vulnerable, that you might be hesitant to share, to be put out there in a very real way, to hopefully get a positive and reparative experience of I can put that real self out there. It allows other people to really know me. I'm going to start this process letting people really know the real me, but to do it in a way that feels honoring of you, not too vulnerable, not overstepping too much your own boundaries. These are all themes that we're going to be talking about in this forum. So I hope that you're able to do that. If not, that's okay. We will follow up on Wednesday. I'm going to be asking people to post Tiny Win Wednesday. So if you're able to do it, you're going to go, yay, I was able to do it, or I was able to do a piece of it. If you weren't able to do it, we're going to have Frustration Friday, where we're able to talk about the things that we're hoping to do and maybe stumbling a little bit, because that's part of being real. That's part of this growth process. There is no need to be perfect. And we know that change is not a linear process. So I so look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. I want to welcome you again and say thank you for being part of this community. So very honored. And I look forward to getting to know you better. Take care. Good luck on your mission Monday. Bye-bye.